All right, my man Alexander just showed up from FedEx with a bunch of goodies from Max Speeding Rods. So let's see what we got. Looks like we got our spindles here. Thing of beauty that is. I put this same style kit on a 93 S10 that I had back in the early 2000s, and it works great. These spindles help to keep a lot of the factory geometry of the front suspension. I'm assuming, let's see, got some off-road lights that are going on something else. That'll be a different video. And this must be the coil springs and the lowering blocks for the rear. Ooh, fancy. New U-bolts, welded steel lowering blocks, nylock nuts for the U-bolt, and new 3-inch springs for the front. This will drop a total of 5 inches altogether in the front, which is going to be huge. All right, we got a little pre-lowering measurement here. Looks like we're about 26.5 inches. With this kit in, we should be measuring 21.5. I'm curious as to if this heavier body pulls a little more sag out of the springs, or it might, the springs being brand new, they probably won't drop as much until they kind of wear in a little bit. But we will find all that out here in a jiffy. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it is pouring down rain today. Not 8 and not 10. It's still not 8. 3/8. I'm going to put a pry bar on this ball joint, make sure these ball joints are good. Seems all right. All right, I got the cotter pins out of the 2 ball joint nuts, and I'm going to go ahead and pull those off. But it's going to be really hard to film because I need to put a jack stand under this to apply pressure to the springs. So I'll get these pulled and we'll bring you back in. All right, it's been a while since I've pulled a spindle, but I've got the shocks removed and I've got the top and bottom ball joint nuts loose but not completely out. I should be able to hit on here like I did with the tie rod end and break it free. The nut will keep it in place, keep the spring from shooting out. And then I'll put pressure on this jack stand and remove the nuts altogether, and then I can raise the truck up and kind of control the drop of the spring in theory. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go get the other side's all ready to go as well. I'm going to tap on it, get it broken free, and then I will lower the truck down a little bit, pull the nuts, and we should be in the safe zone. Top and bottom popped on that side. I'm going to see if I can get the bottom to pop on this side. I might have, no, I'm good. Oh, there it went. You can see now there's a gap between the ball joint and the spindle, top and bottom. But if I was try and undo those nuts right now, this thing would go flying apart and probably kill me. Alrighty, watch your toes. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. This would have been a lot easier to do with before I put the body on. I don't think there's any tension on that anymore. Maybe a little. All right, we'll do a little parts comparison on the tailgate. You can definitely see the height difference in the springs. And then on the spindles, the new one, you can see how the spindle sits up higher. It's kind of hard to get a good perspective with the camera here, but this is 2 inches different in height from the ball joint than this one. This one's, you can see the spindle comes in right under the ball joint on this one. And here you've got this 2-inch, let's see. Actually, it'd be from here. But yeah, you can definitely see the difference. Alrighty, guys, it's the next morning. I did some Googling last night, and I found out that I can buy some rubber caps. Oh, hello. I could buy rubber boots for these ball joints. They're a little wonky in there, but there's no slop. They're tight. I think they'll be fine for a while. Again, my ultimate goal is to put air ride on here, which would have me swapping out the control arms anyway. So I'm going to save $50 on ball joints that I don't really think that I need right now. I'm going to go ahead and throw these new springs and spindles on and rotors, and we'll see what we get. Probably should disconnect the sway bar, but let's see if we can just fight it instead. There we go. I'm trying to twist this spring so that the end of the coil fits into this little pocket in this bottom part here. There we go. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but there's a little indentation there that the spring will set into, and it'll probably kind of level itself out too once I get some weight on it. All right, I'm going to put the jack stand under the lower control arm, lower the truck down a little bit. I might need to use a jack because this is going to be a 2-man job. There's no way I'm going to get that to stay. Well, let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go. Look at the big brain on this guy. Interesting. Got a little clearance issue here. I wonder if that'll go away. with weight on the chassis or not. Let me lower it down just a little bit more. Oh yeah. She's tight, but she's got it. I think I'm just going to do a little flapper wheel action there just because I have a flapper wheel. All right, I didn't remove a whole lot of metal. I just kind of cleaned it up. It had kind of just a little bit of a lip from where the steel was stamped out. You can still kind of see it, almost like a little bit of a burr. I just took that off, and we've got plenty of room. So carry on. Oh, it's you again. Are you helping? Are you helping? All right. I think I've got the cotter pin holes lined up. I'm going to get some new cotter pins. I don't want to use the ones that I pulled out of these castle nuts. I'm going to go ahead and put the other side on, and then I will transfer the wheel bearings into my new spindles and put the new spindles on. So I will be back in just a jiffy. All right, we'll get this bearing out of the back and see how it looks. Bearings are cheap if... Oh, you bugger. Double blow. Oh, nope. I'm going to go ahead and clean these up with some brake cleaner. Might be able to reuse that grease seals too. The winning never stops. All right, I'm going to blast these with some compressed air. We'll see what we're left with. Okay, we're doing the passenger side first. Pack these up with some grease. As I'm walking in and out of my wood shop to get various items, I'm starting to understand why my dad always yelled at me for working on my vehicles in his wood shop. I'm getting grease all over everything. Just working the grease into the bearings here. Trying not to get it on absolutely everything else. Now I could hear you guys screaming at me through the screen to buy new grease seals, so I broke down and I cleaned up the original one real good. Next to a car hoist and a laser welding machine, rubber gloves are one of the more important tools for your shop. Until your hands get sweaty and then they're kind of a pain. Just working this grease in, trying to force it in between the metal and the plastic bearing holder. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. I think that's ready to go on. Don't need that nut to be on super tight. Those are tapered bearings, and just spin it around, make sure it rolls free. You don't have any slop and you're probably good. right, to get the new pads on, I got to collapse the wheel cylinder here, so I just use a C-clamp and a block of wood. If you still had your master cylinder hooked up, you'd want to pop the cap open, but my master cylinder is sitting on the table, so, which is why we have brake fluid dripping all over the floor now. You know, it'd help if I put some brake pads in there first. Old ones, new ones. Old ones, new ones. These S10 chassis are just so great because they're so easy to work on. Parts are readily available and cheap. That is one ugly caliper on that beautiful rotor and spindle. I'll go do the other side. We'll put the wheels back on, set her on the ground, and see what we ended up with. That's already noticeably sitting higher up into the fender well. I'm gonna clean up under the truck here, and we'll set her down and take a measurement. All right, guys. Well, what do you think? Are we gonna see a full 5-inch drop? Are we gonna see more or less? Oh, my hoist won't go low enough. Please hold. Okay, where's the jack? This also happened to me in high school. I had a 72 Datsun B210 that I cut the front coil springs on, lowered it down. It wasn't enough, so I cut them some more. And when I lowered it down the second time, the springs were just flopping around in their spring perch, and I couldn't get the jack out from under the car. That car wouldn't clear a pop can on the side. Oh, she's low. She's low, guys. All right, final tally. Actually, let's bounce on it a little bit. All right, we had 26 and a half, so we were looking for 21 and a half. It's a little lower than 21 and a half, so I think we got just a hair over 5 inches of drop. Man, does that look good. I like it. So we're gonna get on the back now. The back is super easy. I will probably have to modify the bed before I can lower it down all the way, but let's get on it. Now this one here should be a cakewalk. I don't even have to take the tires off. Just undo the U-bolts on both sides, lift the axle up, put the block in, put the new longer U-bolts on. That's all she wrote. Famous last words. I like to try and do one side at a time. That way you don't have the axle trying to flop around. I think the tire's hitting the bed. Oh, you know what? All the U-bolts and everything are up on my tailgate. Please hold. All right, well, the bed is sitting on the tires. So I'm going to go ahead. My inner fender wells won't be here for another couple days, but I'm just going to go ahead and notch these out so that I can kind of establish the bed's location, and then I'll trim them out to fit those fender wells when they get here. All right, before I took this apart, I made a line here that was 8.5 inches above this top rail here, and now I'm at about 6. So I'm going to pull this 2x out. I clearanced the front of this frame to clear the gas tank, so we'll see if we can get the 2 inches we need. $10 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some wooden blocks to use as spacers, just so I can kind of get the elevation correct. All right, I got the height right. It's about 8.5 inches there, but the bed's sitting all wonky because it's still on the tires. So I'm gonna lift it back up in the air and take probably another couple inches out of those bed sides. We should be pretty close. Be able to start mocking up some frame mounts. All right, guys, she's looking pretty good. I've got the running board just kind of sitting there on some blocks of wood. Same with the front bumper. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet about that gap. It's almost 2 inches there, and that doesn't quite meet up to the cab in order to make the wheelbase work for the rear wheels. I do have a 54 out behind my shop that I just realized 10 minutes ago is a long bed, and so the running boards are actually about 10 inches longer than this one. If I can figure out how to match that crappy paint, I might try and shorten those and put them on here, and then we'd be looking pretty good. Even the little skirts are longer, so I'll be looking into that. Well, guys, humongous difference for less than 280 bucks. I'll put a link to that 5.4 drop kit down in the description. They've got all kinds of parts on their website. I don't make a dime if you buy or not. Go check it out. There's a lot of stuff. I saw they've got some really nice lowering shocks for this that I'm looking into. They've also got air ride stuff. So down the road, when I got a few extra bucks, I'll probably be heading back there. Next video is going to be body mounts. I'm going to go through and get everything lined up, straightened out, leveled out, looking good. And then after that, I can start focus on making this thing run. I need to strip the wiring harness out of that S10 cab. I want to pull the steering column, the brake pedal assembly, the throttle. I'm thinking about even putting the bench seat in here. I haven't fully made up my mind yet, but guys, I appreciate you watching this one. I can't wait to get the body mounts made for this, so stick around. We'll see you soon.